Ivy Weingram, thank you very much for inviting me to the Maltz.
Welcome.
Why am I here at the Maltz Museum?
Leonard Bernstein, The Power of Music, special exhibition celebrating Bernstein's centennial.
Centennial, so that's 100 years. So he passed in what, 1990?
Correct. He was born in 1918, and the world has been celebrating his centennial for the past 2 years or so.
Yeah.
And we did so with a special exhibition that premiered at the National Museum of American Jewish History in Philadelphia, and moved on to Boston and has now come to Cleveland.
So we all know he was a great composer, maybe one of the greatest composers of all, but he was quite a humanitarian also, wasn't he?
Absolutely, as much a humanitarian as he was a composer, a conductor, and an educator, a musician, a man of the world, a Renaissance man, all of those things, although I don't think he would have liked any labels.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, he had a wild career. It's interesting that his father always sort of wanted him to be a rabbi.
His father
Yeah.
certainly hoped he'd be a rabbi, or that he'd take over the family business. He had a booming Samuel J. Bernstein hair company business in Boston, supplying beauty products wholesale to Boston salons. But no, once Leonard Bernstein discovered the piano, there was no other option. He was going to make a life as a professional musician.
So where did you start your journey with Leonard Bernstein?
We started planning this exhibition in 2015, and it premiered in 2018. And it really takes that long to figure out what the narrative is going to be for the exhibition, the story we're going to tell that's different from every other book and exhibition that's been done about Leonard Bernstein. We brought together objects from collections throughout the country, from private collections, Bernstein fans, as well as his family and the Library of Congress. Plenty of artifacts that have never seen the light of day, have never been on view to the public before. We're really excited to bring those out.
It's interesting, when I was a little kid, I remember seeing him conduct,
Yeah.
and that wild physical style he had. I mean, he was very unique in that, wasn't he?
He certainly put his whole body into it, and in fact, we imagine him, you know, your memory is probably of this towering figure on the podium in the tux and tails, you know, using his whole body. He was actually not a very tall guy. He
Yeah.
was, he had a big personality, but he was maybe 5'7", 5'8". We have one of his tuxedos, his conducting suits in the exhibition.
I know, I see it. It's one of the first things I walked up to
That's right,
see.
and visitors will be able to see, oh wow, he actually wasn't that big of a guy.
That is really interesting. You know, you have this person in your head, and then you go to learn more about the person. What was the biggest surprise for you, knowing a little bit about him and then learning a lot?
I think I was surprised by just how socially and politically engaged he was in his times, and in making a difference, in creating new opportunities for anyone really who has ever felt like an outsider in any way. You know, he certainly was for a time growing up as a Jewish kid in Boston, going to Harvard when there were quotas that prevented you know, large numbers of Jewish students from attending Harvard, and coming up in the classical music world. I think he sought to create opportunities for African Americans in the arts as they had not previously been given, and that sort of snowballed into this lifetime of social justice activism that is as much a part of his story as his compositions and you know, his conducting, his famous conducting engagement. There wasn't, you know, he's never said no. There was never a cause he didn't want to be a part of. He didn't want to lend his voice to.
He was fiery.
He was fiery and never slept.
And you can see it all here at the Maltz Museum through March 1st. You can go online and get some great deals on tickets, and it's easy to find too. We're in Beechwood. We're right on Richmond Road between South Woodland and Shaker. It's a beautiful little spot, a lot to see here, and you did a wonderful job in this, Ivy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you.
Thanks for being here.